Fair Work Commission will this afternoon hear an application by the Maritime Union after 100 port workers in Sydney and Brisbane were sacked by email overnight. Opposition leader Bill Shorten has met with the workers who set up a picket line outside the Hutchison Ports terminal at Sydney's Port Botany.
Well, their colleagues have also been sacked at the company's Brisbane terminal. Paul McAleer from the Sydney branch of the Maritime Union of Australia joins us now to tell us the latest. Paul, thanks very much for your time.
No worries.
Firstly, what was the reaction of the workers made redundant in this way? What have they told you?
They're devastated. I've met with them this morning. We've had officials with them overnight and they're devastated. They're shocked. They don't know what their future is and they've had a great deal of difficulty in trying to explain to their families what's actually happened.
Paul, how is it that people can be sacked by email? We understand you were in talks with Hutchison a couple of days ago trying to bring some resolution to this potentially happening. Was it a shock even to you that you heard that they'd been sacked first by text to check the email?
Certainly it was a shock to hear that they'd been sacked last night. And it was, what made it worse was the fact that they got a text message to refer to an email to tell them that they were terminated. We've been having discussions with Hutchison over the last fortnight. They've said that they've got significant contractual issues, they're losing work and therefore they've got to make people redundant. So we sat down, started discussions with them. We asked them for information and they haven't provided any of that information. And we've found out now that they haven't lost any work, they've actually subcontracted it out.
What has Hutchison Ports told you or your members about why it chose, or its representatives chose, to deliver the redundancy news in this manner?
They haven't. They haven't explained it to their workforce, they haven't explained it to us. We've had repeated attempts to correspond with them today and there's been no ability to communicate with them at all. The company has since sent another email saying that members can meet at the Novotel next week and have their questions answered, but nothing at the moment.
So the hearing at the Fair Work Commission is going to be taking place in about 20 minutes' time. Is this a hearing, an application by you or by Hutchison? Can you clarify that for us?
I'm still at a bit of a loss as to understand what's happening. However, I understand that they've sought illegal industrial action against us, even though that they've sacked half of the workforce. They've got what I believe to be a lockout happening right now. There's a cordon of security guards preventing people from accessing the terminal. So I'm at a loss as to understand what they're doing. I think it's just part of an overall agenda or strategy to portray us as the people doing the wrong thing when it in fact is absolutely them.
There is also a picket though outside.
Yeah.
What's the nature of that picket? Who's involved? How long is it going to remain in place?
It's going to remain as long as the community continue to man it. It's a community assembly, so we have maritime workers there from all parts of the industry. We have obviously Hutchison workers who have been terminated. We've got members from other unions and our partners, I suppose, in the trade union movement have come down and supported us, and we've got community members as well, people who live in Port Botany who say this is a disgraceful act against ordinary Australian workers who are just doing their best.
And is that picket blocking those who have not been given redundancy?
No,
is it blocking those members from getting to work?
Security guards are blocking off the terminal. So there's a police cordon and a security guard cordon preventing anyone from accessing the terminal.
Where to from now, from your perspective?
I think this is just about a fight for justice. We want to ensure that there's a process, if people are to be made redundant, that the company negotiates that with us, that they provide us with the facts. If this is about shifting their contracts, then I've got to say that that's not a case for redundancy. And we'll continue to fight Hutchison and any other employer, I've got to say, who treat their workers in this disgraceful manner.
Paul McAleer from the MUA, Sydney Branch Secretary, thanks very much for your time this afternoon.
Thank you.
Thanks, Paul.